Hey guys, welcome back to the Matt Newton Football Show. I'm your host Matt, and we're here to talk about the Dolphins' 34-15 victory over the Patriots on the Matt Newton Football Show. Now the Dolphins did a lot of great things on Sunday, but no one was better at their job than Tua Tagovailoa on Sunday. Tua dominated the game in the entire first half, throwing 3 touchdowns, 1 to Jonnu Smith, 2 to De'Von Achane, and that really set the tone for what the Dolphins really wanted to do against the Patriots on offense. And Jonnu Smith got started early in the first quarter. He had 3 catches for 30 yards, finished the first half with 7 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown. And he was just the biggest player that you needed on offense to move the chains. And he picked up a couple of first downs on those receptions, kept the drives moving. The Dolphins stayed ahead of the sticks. And this is the kind of performance the Dolphins have been using in their short passing game. And the reason why it's so critical is that the Dolphins have had problems, according to Mike McDaniel, with getting off the jams, especially in man coverage. And while the Dolphins fight through those wide receivers trying to get free on man-to-man coverage, the Dolphins have been able to take advantage of De'Von Achane and Jonnu Smith competing against defenders in man coverage. And those man beaters allowed the offense to continue to stay on rhythm, stay ahead of the sticks, and convert third downs. Now, early in the game, I saw that the Patriots defenders seemed to be creeping up towards the line of scrimmage. That is to say, they were trying to take away De'Von Achane and Jonnu Smith. And I tweeted out on X, or I posted on X, that the Dolphins will eventually be able to take advantage of plays down the field because the Patriots seem to be coming closer and closer to the line of scrimmage, understanding that they have to take away the short passing game if they have any hopes of trying to stop the Dolphins' offense. The Dolphins have shown over the past 4 games that they're willing to take 10, 12, 14 play drives if necessary to stay ahead of the sticks, continue to convert third downs, and get the ball in the end zone. And that patience has really played off, not just for them moving the ball and scoring points on offense, but it's also paid off in that teams are starting to see on film that the Dolphins are patient, they will distribute the ball, they will convert third downs. And if the defense allows the Dolphins to do that, they'll take that all day, every day, convert third downs, get the ball in the end zone, and put up points. So eventually the defense has to make a decision. Do they allow the Dolphins to continue to dominate like that? Or do they try to do something different, maybe put another extra defender into the box, maybe go away from man coverage and go to zones, maybe even play 1 safety high instead of 2. And when the Dolphins have those opportunities, they can take advantage of it. And I realized that very early on, and I expected either Tyreek Hill or Jaylen Waddle to benefit from that because those safeties started to get more and more aggressive towards Jonnu Smith and De'Von Achane. And when those defenders start creeping up, that's exactly what you want if you're Mike McDaniel, because now you can get the ball out into the secondary, in the second level of the defense, and that's where the big plays are made. Jaylen Waddle had a really good game this game, not his best game of his career, but pretty close to one of his best performances. He was able to get chunk play after chunk play, whether it was 14 yards here, 17 yards there, 23 yards there. And those passes, I think, were very good for the Dolphins in terms of getting the chunk plays so that they can pick up yardage in bunches, especially when they had that last possession in the game. They were able to drive down the field pretty quickly. They didn't score a touchdown. They only scored a field goal. But for them to be able to move the ball in less than 2 minutes and get all the way down the field, get inside the Patriots' 5-yard line, that's the kind of drive that you would need for the 2-minute drill. You need to pick up chunk plays, and you need to get the ball down the field quickly. And the Dolphins prove that they can still do that. It's still in their arsenal if they need it. So Tyreek Hill had a few plays here and there. I think he had 48 yards on the game. Jonnu Smith finished with over 80 yards, and De'Von Achane also contributed in the passing game with 2 touchdown receptions. So Tua spread the ball all over. He could have had an even bigger day had it not been for a couple of drops. I believe OBJ had a pass that he dropped. It was dropped over his shoulder. I believe he tried to corral the football from Tua. It was a dime by Tua. It was a perfect pass, but OBJ just couldn't bring it down. And it's one of those things that you don't expect that from OBJ. You expect him to make that catch, but, at the end of the day, it didn't really cost the Dolphins in this one. Also, there were other performances on defense that were noteworthy, particularly Zach Sealer, Jalen Ramsey, and Chop Robinson. Those three guys had a phenomenal day, harassing Drake May, forcing sacks, forcing pressures, forcing turnovers. And, those guys each individually deserve a game ball. But, I guess only one game ball can go around on defense. On offense, Tua would clearly get it because he was the best performer on offense. But on defense, take your pick. Chop Robinson had a couple of sacks. He had numerous pressures throughout the game. He forced Drake May out of his spot repeatedly. And, Chop Robinson was very impactful. He made his presence felt. One time he even beat a tight end and a tackle to get to the quarterback. So he's really stepping up his skill set, at least on pass rushing downs, known passing situations. Still a little jury out there as to whether he can do that hold up against the run. But in terms of known passing situations, he's been awesome this year. He's getting even better as each week goes on. So you like to see the progress from the rookie. And, Chris Greer seems like he hit on a pretty good first round pick again. It seems like Chop Robinson is having the kind of trajectory that Jalen Phillips had in his first year. Jalen Phillips also wasn't really good setting the edge when he was a rookie, but in the second half of his rookie season, he started to turn up the pressure and start to get sacks, and it seems like Chop Robinson is starting to figure it out, just like Jalen Phillips did in his first year of a Miami Dolphin. And, Zach Sealer, what can you say? This guy is so impactful on the play that he caused a sack, forced a fumble, and was recovered by Jordan Brooks. On that play, Zach Sealer was lined up actually at the end position, and he actually did a swim move inside the left tackle to force the pressure on Drake May, then caused the fumble that was recovered by Jordan Brooks. So Zach Sealer, kudos to him. He's playing way above his pay grade. Honestly, the Dolphins are getting a huge value in his contract. If you're Zach Sealer's agent, I don't know if you'll go up to the Dolphins and try to get a bump in salary, but if there's anyone on that defensive line that deserves it, it's certainly him. Calais Campbell had a pretty good game. No splash plays, but he made his presence felt, especially in the run defense. And, he was an impactful player as well. Jalen Ramsey, he got free on a couple of cornerback blitzes. He came free twice, one on a sack and the other one on a pass deflection that ended up being turned into an interception. So Jalen Ramsey was very impactful in just being disruptive, causing pressures, causing sacks. In coverage, he was also very good. So he's one of those guys. He's like a joker in the secondary. He can move all over the place. He can create all kinds of mismatches and create confusion for the defense. And, you like to see a Hall of Fame type player with that kind of ability be impactful as opposed to just being lined up on the outside and teams are trying to avoid not throwing the ball to him. By putting him in these different spots, he has the opportunity to control and impact the game in various ways. So you love to see that from those three defenders. Other guys that played well, it was Kato Kohu, Javon Holland. Those guys had good games. Maybe not standout performances, but they did pretty well. So all in all, it was a good game by the Dolphins offense and their defense. Mike McDaniel put Skylar Thompson in the game with about 11 minutes left, and I think there was some kind of botched handoff between Skylar Thompson and Jalen Wright, and that resulted in a fumble that was recovered by Christian Gonzalez for a touchdown. Right after that play, on the following possession, Tua Tagovailoa came right back into the game. So, that just goes to show you that the team wanted to have Skylar Thompson get some game experience, but, once again, Skylar Thompson just didn't seem like he was up for the challenge. I don't know exactly what went wrong on that play. Don't know whether to blame the running back or the quarterback. But for some reason, every time Skylar Thompson comes into the game, it seems like bad things start to happen. So the Dolphins really need to revisit that into the future. Honestly, it didn't cause the Dolphins this one. But when the Patriots got that touchdown from Christian Gonzalez and converted the 2-point conversion, that turned the game into a 2-possession game as the Patriots were then down by only 16 points. It was 31-15. So, Tua had to come back into the game to make sure they secured the win. Another mishap on offense, another big play given up on defense. maybe the Patriots cut it down to a one-score game, and you don't want that in a game that you've controlled the entire time. It kind of reminds me of that Tennessee Titans game in 2023 when the Dolphins imploded in the fourth quarter and allowed the Tennessee Titans to win the game late, which completely helped to derail their season in 2023. Fortunately, the Dolphins did not succumb to the same fate, and they were able to, finish off the victory and secure the win for their team. So that's the important thing. And, it's a very good game on both offense and defense. For the most part, they did their job. The game wasn't really close. As a matter of fact, the score at 34-15 was a lot closer than it actually was, because the only two scores that the Patriots had was a 15-yard, a touchdown pass on 4th and 15, in which Chop Robinson got pressure on Drake May. He kind of rolled out to his right to escape the pressure and found a wide open Austin Hooper at the end zone, at the goal line. So they were able to get a touchdown from that. And then, of course, you had the defensive touchdown by Christian Gonzalez. So the Dolphins defense really played very well throughout the course of the game. The offense played really well in the first half. Unfortunately for the offense, 4 of their 5 drives, they had to punt, which was atypical for their performance since Tua's come back. They hadn't really had to punt that many times. So the offense definitely went into a rut. And part of that was their inconsistent running game on the day. The Dolphins weren't able to run the ball very successfully. And, it definitely impacted their ability to stay ahead of the sticks and convert third downs in the second half. So we'll see what the Dolphins do about that. But the next game that they have to play is Thursday versus the Green Bay Packers. And the Dolphins have a few things to clean up after this game, particularly when it comes to running the football, so that they can put themselves in a better position to win against the Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving. So that's it for this episode. See you guys in the next one. And like and subscribe this video and share it with your friends. And I'll see you in the next video.